So a report from the Memphis Shelby County Crime Commission says that crime is down, but unfortunately there's been some major shootings this week that has made people feel differently. But we do have a quick look at the numbers there. So it says that it's down about, in the first quarter of 2025, violent crime is down about 8.8%, so nearly 9%. Aggravated assaults, which make up about 80% of all major violent crime, is down nearly 7%. Property crime reports dropped 20%. Overall, Memphis crime dropped 13%. Shelby County overall crime dropped about 13% as well. So the Mayor Paul Young, is touting these numbers as well. I mean, obviously, everybody wants to hear that crime is down. We know just this past week, there was a tragic shooting with a teenager at Tom Lee Park, a place that everybody's going, the place that was very much renovated in all of its glory. And then an anti-violence meeting in Hickory Hill was shot up and a man died there. So I guess I'll open up with Deidre on this one. The narrative of crime is down. Do you feel that that's the same message that the community is also feeling?
I think it depends upon the community too. I mean, I think it's important for the mayor to be out there with the crime commission talking about that the numbers are better, but it's all relative in terms of the community that you live in. My mother lives in Orange Mound, where the 2-year-old was shot. That's concerning. But you know, as long as we know that the sheriff's department and the police department are working on it, and that they're out there talking about it and they have officers on the street, that's all we can ask for at this time. And what are those strategies that they have? But it's relative to your community and how it affects you.
Absolutely, and the emphasis on reported crimes. These are just crimes that have been reported and responded to or in the system with law enforcement agencies. Otis, does the community feel trust, or is that a fair question in their law enforcement to even call for every crime?
Well, I can't sit here and say that I think that they do. You know, people don't believe that crime is going down because they see evidence of crime where they live, to your point. And a lot of times it's not just the crime, it's where the crime happens. You mentioned Tom Lee Park, an anti-violence rally. Last year we had at the Orange Mound Park.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago.
You know,
That's right.
Those kind of things are what continues to fuel the belief that crime is not down. But you're right. The mayor needs to continue to talk about it, and hopefully that message will continue to sink in.
And Sam, I do want to ask you, because I'm sure you all did reporting on as well as this crime report, just thinking about the numbers and the way that these categories are, does that give some breath to it as well? I feel like the categories change sometimes and that fits the numbers in certain ways, but to your assessment of what you see from the numbers, how accurate would you say?
I mean, first I would say is like governments and government officials, just like companies, are going to manipulate data and find narratives from data. And I'm not casting aspersions here. Like, crime is very likely down in Memphis, Tennessee. As I said before we recorded this, if you go from very high to high on a stove, the water's probly still boiling.
Yeah,
right? And so, like, it's really, we as humans are really bad about feeling statistics. We're really bad about gauging statistics. And the mayor and his administration are trying to change the narrative in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether or not voters believe him, we'll see in 2027. Whether we'll see him is in the census data if people keep leaving the city, right? But I think that we have to realize that crime is still bad. The violent crime rate per 100,000 people in the city of Memphis is still really bad, worldwide, nationwide. And so, like, that's something that still needs to change. And these quarterly numbers and week-to-week numbers, they're not much but noise.
Yeah.
And we do know that the Crime Command Center downtown with the Memphis Police Department is underway, as well as the cameras that they're really investing in. We talk about parks. And that was a whole discussion with the Tom Lee shooting. It's like the permits and the festival that it happened at had security or didn't. What can the city of Memphis do as far as enforcement on security at public parks? I guess I'll ask Otis here.
Obviously, there has to be better coordination between the people who sponsor these public events and the police department. And let's not have any dropping of the ball when it comes to whether you have security, proper security, or whether you don't have security. And the fact is, whether The people who will believe that crime is going down in Memphis are the people in the community. When they start saying, yeah, crime is down, and people stop leaving the city, that's when the public will get the feeling that we're doing better.
Well, and if you have an event, you have to have security if it's a City of Memphis property.
Right.
We just had one at Beale Street Landing, and we had to have security. So, and that's important, but our hope is that police are circling the area as well, because anything could happen, right?
Right.
And with the weather getting warmer, we
Oh,
know
my
more people will be
goodness.
outside,
Yes,
more events will be
absolutely.
happening. All right, well, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You all did fabulous as always. Thank you for joining us for ABC24 This Week. We will see you next week for This Week.